It's time for a brand new, incredibly emotional Switch to Birth After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. We are talking Season 5, Episode 5, Occupy Truth. Stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello and welcome to the Switch to Birth After Show. We are standing up for truth here. If you haven't already, go to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Hit subscribe. We're also on iTunes and SoundCloud. Subscribe there as well. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. I'm keeping it together today because Hannah's here.
I'm not keeping it together. I've been crying, I don't know, for a hot minute now, and I feel like I'm still on the brink of tears. But hey guys, I'm Hannah Prichard, and y'all can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TheHotChatDude.
I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. We have Becca, the voice of the chat.
Hi.
Hi. You can follow her at Becca Detox TV. Look at that. Today I got everybody's names right.
Yay!
That's impressive.
Has that not been a thing recently?
Nope. Last week I was
good to
way
know.
off.
Good to know.
Yeah. Speaking of names, I really like the format of this episode where they did the 3 separate stories.
That.
It was great.
It really, really was. It added to it too. You had chapters to follow, and each time you were like, "Oh, now we're gonna go and see this perspective and that." I really liked it.
I definitely thought that the stories would overlap and we'd see the same scene from a different angle, but instead it was not that.
But I kind of like that it wasn't.
I liked the way it went. I also would have liked that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get that. A little bit of a Crash kind of feel to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do, because I like interesting filmmaking. I also think it's really interesting that the 3 stories we got, Sheree, Iris, and Chris, none of those are our main cast members.
Nope.
Which reminds us that our cast is all white, aside from Regina.
Yep.
Something to note, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not much more to say on that. Yep.
Becca?
Yep. You have a hi, Hannah, in the chat.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm back.
FYI.
Let's start. We're just going to go through it. Let's start with Sheree's storyline. When she was talking with Professor Morello and Dean Jerkface, I read that as a threat.
Wait, from Sheree?
No, I read them saying, we're going to let you get away with this. You are not going to do it. You're not going to make any more trouble. You're going to stay, you're going to keep your nose clean. I absolutely read that as a threat.
I did too.
And the fact that she then chose to be like, well, I'm sticking my nose in this now.
But I think she read it as a threat also, and that's why she walked out of the office. And
immediately.
Yeah. Because you could tell when she was responding to it that she was hurt by the way that they were speaking to her as well.
Absolutely.
But was reacting in a sense that she was used to reacting, which was just hard. Guys, I was literally crying the entire episode.
Well, who wasn't?
Legit.
Yeah, if you weren't crying, if you didn't cry at least once this episode, check your pulse.
Yeah, seriously.
Because I don't feel things, but I felt. That's not true. I cry a lot. I'm a big crier. But Professor Morello, this episode really bothered me.
Oh, she stressed me out every moment that she was on screen.
Especially this thing with Sheree, because she started it.
Yeah.
She pushed her first.
Exactly. And it doesn't surprise me that was never addressed, but it bothered me that that Sheree didn't bring it up at some point or somebody didn't bring it up to be you took force at her first, and she's a student. There are so many more things wrong with that than her trying to push you off of her, which didn't even push her. She just tried to hold on to the mega. What do we call that? Megaphone?
Megaphone.
Okay, great. I don't know.
Yes.
Well, Billie Jean Girl agrees that the dean is a jerk, and I like the name for it.
Dean Jerkface?
Yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna make a note. Dean Jerkface. Oh, I have that already.
He doesn't really need a name.
Yeah.
And then Amanda said something interesting, which I liked, that says maybe the new cast members will be part of a Switch to Birth spinoff.
I like that idea.
That'd actually be cool.
I think it would be so brave of Freeform to go, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a show about Black activists.
Oh, yeah.
What a
Current.
great show. Yeah, current, modern. What a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it, Freeform.
Do it, seriously.
Yeah,
Because there are a lot of shows coming out right now that focus on activism and like issues, but it's all dated. It's all period
Right.
pieces. That actually really Freeform. This is huge for you.
You're
Do it.
welcome.
Get on it.
Who was it who said that?
It was Amanda in the chat.
Amanda, they're gonna owe you some credit for
Yeah.
that.
I think they will not owe her any credit. She has not signed anything. They owe you nothing. Sorry, girl.
Whatever. We give you credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sheree's story kind of really set off the whole situation.
Yeah.
And the idea that she had it was her idea for Chris's story, for Chris to like not play, girl. And the racist, sexist, terrible person who is Catherine and John and Catherine's boss.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting that. All of the other storylines seemed so irrelevant in this episode to me that I'm like, oh yeah, I forget that there were other things that happened to other characters that are generally our main characters.
Right. But like his behavior towards the situation was so despicable.
Oh my gosh. His almost bothered me more than anybody else's because he was so dismissive of everything. Like didn't even care to weigh in on it, which to me was just even worse.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Speaking of what Hannah said, Billie Jean Girl 24 says, I guess things that happened between Bay and Travis in the last episode are all good now.
Yeah,
'Cause-
seriously.
It's fair.
Yeah, like the fight never happened.
Yeah, didn't. But Sheree going and trying to get the signatures. Okay, so when Iris goes like, I know 1,000 sounds like a lot. I went, no, that sounds like very little. And then I remembered that they're on a college campus.
I was going to say, to me, it sounded like a ton. I was like, good luck.
Well, I mean, the idea that there's like this, I think it's in England that like if a petition gets a certain number of signature, the government has to discuss it, which is something we should absolutely apply here.
Yeah.
But it's like tens of thousands. You know, it's
Right.
like 50,000 people. So like
so
the
hearing
idea of
1,000.
1,000, I went, that's it. And then seeing her and going, oh, they're on a college campus. I forgot it has to be college students at the school. Yeah, no, that's going to be impossible.
Yeah, and especially on college campuses, not even just on college campuses, walking around in the world, anytime you see somebody holding a clipboard come up and talk to you, you're like my fifth person a day. Like, I do not have time to talk to you.
Absolutely. And the guy, when the guy took the paper off of Sheree's clipboard, I went, girl, why are you letting him touch it? Like, what? I thought he was going to tear it. The fact that he rolled it up into a ball, like, relaxed me. I was stressing that he was just going to tear it and be like, no.
I didn't even know what was going to happen when he came up, but I almost forgot that even happened in the show because I got so wrapped up in everything else. Like, all the emotions were intense. But I actually I liked that interaction between them because that is something that you hear from people. That is a common reaction. And I liked that they worked at the beginning of this episode with Sheree. They worked in so many of those little comments that you get a lot of the time with this topic. And I liked that they incorporated all of those and we could see the way that Sheree reacted to them all.
Yeah, so this conversation between Sheree and Regina where she is like, revealing her truth, which is interesting to see the way that when this whole situation first started, Sheree was like, I don't let these things bother me.
I'm gonna cry again.
Right.
Keep going.
Can you keep the camera on?
No, I'm gonna be okay.
So Sheree said she doesn't let these things bother her, but then when she's talking to Regina and she tells the story, I'm like trying to make it happen.
I know you are.
And she tells her this heart-wrenching story
Stop, Yael.
of her childhood, hearing the N-word for the first time.
Stop. I'm not gonna do it. But I can't even weigh in on this because if I say the things that bother me, I'm just gonna cry.
Tell me what you're thinking, Hannah.
God.
I'm evil.
No, the show wrecked me today. But I thought one of the saddest parts about that was obviously hearing that, like, she was called that at such a young age, not even at an age where she didn't even know what that meant yet. and that she had to be educated on that when she's 5. 4, yeah. And then for her to end that with saying that she had a history lesson, before kindergarten or at the end of preschool? Like, we don't think about it that way. She was being taught her history, and like, because she needed to know it. You know what I mean? For her to understand who she is, and none of us think about that. Like, I mean, especially me, I'm as wide as they get. I can tell you firsthand. I didn't have to know anything until I was taught it by a curriculum. And even then I chose not to listen to it because it felt irrelevant. It's just mind-blowing. That comment alone just derailed me.
Especially later on when their request was for a change in the curriculum.
Yeah.
Was to have their history be part of history.
Instead of an elective.
Yeah. So Regina's relation to her, explaining her story of when she was a child and hearing someone say go home.
Yeah.
And not understanding what that meant. And I know that, so you were saying hearing this and not being able to relate and how eye-opening that is.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that there are lots of us who are watching this who did relate,
right,
who could feel those things.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, you know, I've the opposite when I was in 7th grade, and that's when we talked about the Holocaust, and people in my class
right,
going, I don't know what that is, and me going, how is this not something your family
absolutely
talks about and teaches you?
Yeah.
This is part of our past and history. Things from the chat.
Talks Nuba. I probably did not say that right at all. It's his first time or her first time tuning in.
What a big episode to tune in.
And could relate to that whole Sheree storyline. And then Allegria said that Allegria said the same thing about being able to relate to the whole Sheree storyline.
So a lot of us could relate, and I think that it was a great opening to people who don't know that this is a thing.
It's they handled this episode so well.
Absolutely.
So well.
Yeah, I agree. Let's take it to Iris, who's still on her hunger strike, day 3. So she does this interview. I think it's really important that Regina points out to Sheree, tell your story.
Yeah.
So Iris does this interview with this blogger, and we get this like, okay, so the other guy in the BSU, he's also a jerk face, but I can't call him a jerk face. I need a name for him.
Are we talking about journalists?
No, we're talking about the a-hole in the BSU.
Oh, who didn't turn out to be an a-hole, but he was
okay.
He was a little aggressive.
But this wasn't the first time. He yelled at Daphne before when he was like, "Get out of here!" He kept calling her Katy Perry. Told her get out. He's been an a-hole this whole time.
He has. You know, I was actually surprised that we didn't get
his story.
I was, because considering he was handling it in such a different fashion as the rest of the students, I almost felt that we should have
got kind of his story.
We did.
This a-hole gets angry at Iris because, that's what I'm calling him, this a-hole. Because Iris was raised by a white father, and Iris was raised with money, and so we find out that his family didn't have money and had to struggle. And I very much love that we had this situation where Iris and him went back and forth, and she's like, you had people who looked like you. You had people who understood you. I was all alone.
Absolutely.
Because it's something that I'm constantly trying to remind people in my own life, and that you don't know people's stories. You don't know them.
True.
You can't make these assumptions, and you can't decide something about someone. You don't know them.
It's so very true. I've had these same conversations recently. But this stuff is going around it's so prevalent right now in our society, and it's actually being talked about in our society. So these questions are being brought up, and that's why you and I have both had the same conversation. We're watching a show right now that is happening there, because it's all being talked about right now, which is wonderful. And it's wonderful that we got to watch a show tonight, or last night, that I watched it today. Hence why I'm still in tears. But that's talking about that stuff, and it's on air, and we can cry about it and have all these wonderful discussions.
I also love that we get this backstory about Iris because so far all we know is she's got a deaf cousin. She can
Yeah.
sign. Like, she wants to sign. That's all we know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so it was interesting to learn that about her and to see the way that she feels her community reacts to that and still puts her on the outside where she doesn't feel, still doesn't know where she fits in.
The thing is, when he got angry, when A-hole got angry and was like, I'm taking over, I was like, no. First of all, man, like, you stop stepping over a woman. And second of all, like, she's the one on the hunger strike.
Yeah.
She's the one who's risking her life to get these people expelled. You have zero right to take over now. She is the face of this movement. And what you deal with, what the world deals with when you have a face of a movement and something happens that hurts the movement, is you find a way to spin it. You don't change the leader. It shows that your movement is weak.
Yeah. It's true.
Like, you're in college, learn these things.
Well, exactly. And he was just everything that he was doing up until honestly, up until after he ran in front of the car. Every reaction that he had was just very rash. Like all of it was just feeding off of emotion versus any logic to it. And I think in that moment, everybody's like, well, he's going to ruin this. He's going to ruin this entire thing, and he's going to do something ridiculous to where it's all... there's going to be no progress made, and it's just going to, then they're going to actually have like consequences for acting, vandalism, which they were all concerned about. But they did find a way, and I think that was with the help of Sheree and the way that she wanted to go about it. But there was like a happy medium once she jumped on board with him.
Right. Yeah.
We have, first of all, people hashtagging Captain A-hole.
Captain A-hole.
And then Ryan says that he thought the guy who was picking a fight with Iris
Captain A-hole.
Yeah, out of line, and that Iris had it under control. And then Florence said you can't compare, struggle, or evaluate. No one has the same experience about
Absolutely.
Captain A-hole.
Yeah. And you're totally right that all of his...
I forgot what I said. I was like, what?
You were totally right that all of his reactions were in anger and in just out of emotion. Yeah. And so when he takes the team to vandalize this is what we're going to do. Girl, no.
I was terrified.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Speaking of the team, Gabriel said that he hated when he took over and no one said anything.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
No one stuck up for Iris.
No one stuck up for Iris. Yeah, well, because they all kind of felt betrayed as well.
Yeah, maybe it was this... Maybe they filmed it, but it seemed like the scene less important.
Okay.
I don't know.
Actor. So, yes.
Ryan says you're awesome, and
I'm
that
aware.
he loves how you speak your mind.
Thank you.
And told me to pass that message on to you.
Don't worry, Ryan. I'm not waiting for my compliment or anything.
Don't
but that's
compliment
fine.
Hannah.
You have a #1 fan in the chat. It's like, I don't know.
Hey, girl!
Sarah with like 2 A's, so I don't know if you say it like Sarah.
Sarah?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. We're going to take a moment now.
What?
I want to thank you. Yeah, we're going to thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone who's live in the chat. I'm so glad Ryan could make it. Greg couldn't be here today. He let us know. Billie Jean Girl Boo is here, of course. You want to name a few other people that are with us? Aren't we glad we have a voice in the chat to handle this?
Hi. Well, Gabriel, Florence,
Hello, Gabriel and Florence.
Nuba, Amanda.
Hi, guys.
Wawa girl.
Welcome. Becca
Brendan
can't
Cosby. I can't read.
That's okay. Neither
It's
can
really
I.
bad. Yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone who subscribes on iTunes. We're sad that you're not live with us, but thank you for subscribing. Also, we ask you to do a very simple thing. Go to iTunes, rate and review us. If you like us, you can give us 5 stars. If you don't like us, you can give us 4 stars. The other stars, they don't work. I've tried them. Nope. I tried them this morning. They're broken. I did not try them this morning. I'm going to be real honest. I tried them yesterday. They're broken. But we don't have any new reviews. Ryan said he wrote a review on iTunes, but I don't see it. So if he can send me a screenshot, I will read it if he sends it before the end of the show. Otherwise, there are no new reviews right now. Write reviews. We read them live on the air. That's our gift back to you, other than doing the show for you for free. You're welcome.
For free.
Yeah, the show's free. guys.
Breathe.
You don't have to pay any money to hear our thoughts.
What a shame.
I know. Because I think our thoughts are like fascinating.
I think they are too.
So rate, review. We'll read them on the air for you. Thank you. So back to Iris. I loved, because we brought it up last week, that Daphne sticks her nose in everybody's business. But this week, when she stood up and said, we did a similar thing at my school, and let me give you just take it or leave it. Let me I just want to share my thought. Yes, Daphne, finally. Like, up until this point, she's been sticking her nose in everybody's business and being obnoxious.
Right, and not actually helping,
No,
like acting before, like
I know how to help
Okay.
you in this situation. I'm a rich white girl now.
Yep.
Like, girl, shut up. But this week, when she went, this is what we did, and here's some advice, take it or leave it.
yeah.
Correct. That's what you do, Daphne.
True. Exactly. Give and take, Daphne. Give and take. Don't just go and do a thing.
It's not your fight. Help out. Stay out of the way.
Yeah, and I'm glad somehow she like learned that. I don't know, and
Yeah.
just went up and was like, I will never understand, but I can offer my support.
Yes.
And I was like, good job, sis. Now take a seat.
Yeah. Good job. Sit down. I also like that they brought an interpreter, so Iris didn't have to do all the work.
I didn't even notice that.
When they were at the meeting, there was the interpreter interpreting. So, like, everyone was looking at Iris. Daphne was looking at an interpreter. Girl, you don't pay attention
I
to
think
these
I
things.
literally just black out and zone into certain things.
I believe
I
it.
really, really do.
Yes.
Wawa Girl says, I really can't stand Daphne, but I didn't find her obnoxious in this situation.
Yeah, this episode, the Bay and Daphne were not annoying. You
Yeah.
know why? Because it
They
wasn't
weren't in the
about
episode.
I
them.
know.
Um,
Sorry, guys. You're
yeah.
annoying. No, I'm just kidding.
So I want to talk real quick about this Captain A-Hole versus Professor Morello situation with the car. So first of all, that scene where they're taking down the Sherman, they really could have just taken down the H and left it as the Herman building, and problem would have been solved. Or the S, and problem would have been solved.
That's hilarious.
When he took off the S, I went, great, we're done. It's the Herman building now.
That's hilarious. That would have been really funny.
Yeah.
But I liked hearing their little like.
Each of their stories.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was
god.
really great.
That's when I started crying.
Yeah.
It's one of the times I started crying.
Yeah, I was gonna say, really? I think I was
No.
dead in the opening credits. I don't know.
But so first of all, Sheree's phone call where she has to take it as her mom, I went, that better be important and have something to do with something.
But it didn't.
Nope. Because what I assumed would happen was the cops would come, everyone would flee, she'd be the only one there because she's on the phone.
Oh,
That's where I thought it was going. That's not at all what it was. She just was on the phone, and he saw Professor Morello and went and tracked her down. Which, okay, I am a big fan of, if you got something to say, you stand up and say it.
Yeah.
Her reaction,
Was agreed.
it was racist.
It was.
pure racism.
Yeah, and I was actually, because of her reaction when she came out, I was actually afraid that they were going to take it a different way, and that it was going to be raised to a certain level where he was going to get arrested, or somebody was going to get called onto campus, or he would get hit with her car, or he would have to get forceful with her because she was being,
Right.
I was so concerned that that's where they were going. But it's almost worse that it didn't go that way, and she just you know what I mean? It just was
She
a
just
standalone
panicked
her reaction.
Yeah, she panicked for no reason in a purely racist way.
Yes.
It was, oh, yes.
Gabriel wants to know if Captain A-Hole stopped her as a distraction or just to talk to her.
So I think at first it was like,
A
oh, I'm going to go
distraction.
try to just keep her looking the
Right.
other direction. But then when she panicked, he was like, you won't even talk to us.
Yeah.
And it escalated in such a terrible way.
Yeah.
So let's take it to the Chris storyline. Because Chris, who you all called it, first of all, you called that he'd be back. And second,
Yep.
you all called that he would play a big part in this issue. Good job.
Yes.
Congrats.
No big deal. He made me cry so much.
So when he breaks off the key trying to get his bike, I went, oh no. He's about to get arrested for stealing a bike. And then when oh my God. Okay, so maybe I've been watching too much other stuff, like Orange is the New Black and Unreal. I'm
rewatching
the
that show right now. I love
news,
it.
maybe. But when they were on top of him, I went, if they kill him right now, I will not be able to handle it.
I thought the exact same thing. I was like, please, 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 please don't. You know what I mean? Like,
I was like, if I cannot handle another unarmed black man being killed by the police. I was like sitting there panicking. Yep. That moment. Thankfully. Also, if I thought they were going to ruin his arm. I thought they were going to destroy his career.
I did too when he said that, but I don't know. I thought the exact same thing as you, and I don't even know what else to say about it. I didn't think that I was afraid that they were going to take it that way, but I didn't. To do that, the commitment of the show would have had to stay on this issue for the rest of the season.
I was about to applaud Freeform for
going for it,
doing it.
Oh, but I agree with you. I don't think I
would have lost it.
Yeah,
I couldn't handle seeing another one.
No, then I'd be like, well, granted, if that were the case, I'd be blowing up this show in everybody's life, and I'd be like, you better check yourself and watch this show.
Waller Girl says the cops were awful, and yeah.
Oh, the cops were the
terrible.
Worst. I could not.
But they did. I will give it to the writers. They wrote that scene out so well. Like the play out of that was really, really perfect.
Yeah. And Florence said, I think they actually did something to his picture arm, and it will come out next episode because he was holding it at the end.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think so too. So he decides, because of this situation, he decides he's going to sit out the game, and he asks the team to join him. So as soon as he's out, I went, Travis is going to be offered to play, and he's going to sit out.
Yep, absolutely. We know.
Because Travis is such a good guy.
He is.
Such a sweetheart. And somebody, I don't remember who it was, who wrote in the comments last week, so I apologize that I can't give you the proper credit, but somebody wrote last week that it is absolutely right that Travis is being ridiculous. The team has been prepping and running and practicing and getting in shape and working as a team for months, and he has been there 2 weeks killing himself, but it's only been 2 weeks, so he can't expect to be back.
It's true.
So props to whoever said that in the comments. And the baseball game, when the entire team stands up and John is like, I'm with my team.
Thank goodness. I was really concerned that he wasn't.
Because it's so like John to be like, whatever, I'm a rich white man.
Exactly. And when he sat down and had the conversation with Chris in the locker room, I was like, I know that you're not being rude, but you're not fully hearing him and understanding.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, he wasn't being overtly rude or unsupportive. He just wasn't supporting him properly. So I was concerned that he was going to continue that way. But I think seeing the team rally taught little John there a lesson in itself, which was very nice.
Yeah.
The person who said that in the comments last week was Lady Gothy 12.
Thank you.
Looked it up.
Thank you. Getting your
Look at you.
Speaking of shout outs, we have a 5-star review from Ryan.
I love Ryan.
Yeah, everyone loves
given
Ryan.
So much love to everyone in the chat.
Aw. So we have a review. He says, "These ladies rocks. 5 stars. I've been watching the Switch Your Birth After Show on AfterBuzz since the middle of season 4, and I've loved every minute." Aww. Yael and Hannah are awesomely awesome at what they do. Aw, keep it up, ladies. Love Ryan. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks,
Mwah.
man.
Cool. So let's finish the story, because at this point we have John and Catherine's jerk boss. Because I want to swear. That's what it is. Is that I'm calling everyone a jerk because I want to call them much worse names.
It's okay.
Their boss, the racist, sexist guy, is on the phone with Dean Jerkface. Not Captain A-hole, Dean Jerkface.
Yep.
And he says, I thought it was going to be a last minute pull out. Yep, I'm going to do it. Play the game. Right? Nope, he will not be bullied by students. At that moment, I went, you are a moron.
Yeah. And I was hoping... when Sheree first brought it up to him to sit out the game,
to threaten to sit out the game.
I thought that also it was going to benefit them in the sense that there was going to be media there, which there was. They showed somebody, there was hosting or whatnot. So I had hoped that it was going to get coverage and they were going to turn it to the players to ask them why they were threatening to sit out the game. And they never did. And then it was also, I thought, a great opportunity when Dean Jerkface declined still at that moment, that then it would raise attention from media even more.
Right, when the guy was like, you forfeited.
Exactly. That then they would go to the players.
Happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang it, why?
I'm with you. I agree. I totally thought the media would play into it and that they'd make this a bigger announcement.
Yes.
And that it would force the dean's hand. But instead, we find out that all the other sport teams, they named a bunch of them, and I went, I don't know what that is.
Sport.
They said the sport team, and then the women's sport team, and then the sport team and the sport team.
Yep.
And then apparently Iris doesn't know the sign for lacrosse because she fingerspelled it. I went, yeah, you don't know the sign for lacrosse? Lacrosse is the one.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this.
Stick?
That's baseball. This is it, I think. Anyway, so all the sport teams said, we're not doing it either. And so, which was great. Iris gets that call. At that moment, I thought it was her parents pulling her out. I thought like this was going to continue. Her parents were pulling her out of school because that was the threat her dad made if she did the hunger strike.
Right.
But it was not. It was Dean Jerkface willing to expelling the racist jerks and meeting with her the next day, and she was finally going to eat.
Yay!
It was the most heartbreaking episode. That's not true. The episode where Angela died was the most heartbreaking. But it was a tearful episode, which ended positive.
Ugh, this was the most I've cried on during a show in a long time.
Yeah. Chat.
Going back to Chris and the cops, there's multiple comments that say they like the line or the conversation part where the cops was like, I didn't see the key, and then Chris said he didn't ask.
Yes.
I thought that was really powerful.
Absolutely. The fact that they wouldn't listen until Bay spoke is huge.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yep.
Absolutely. And then Wild Girl says the parts with Travis and Chris were touching.
Where he's like, I stand with you, I'm with you, and he sits with him. They're going to become best friends.
They are going to.
And
him and Sheree are going to become lovers.
I do like that idea.
Right. Yeah. Tuxanuba says that John had him scared for a bit.
John had him scared for a bit?
Because when he wasn't supporting.
When he wasn't supporting.
Yeah.
When he was like, Travis, you're going to play.
Yeah.
I was like, you're about to lose the game.
Yeah.
No offense, Travis.
But
you're about to lose the game. I think the fact that John pointed out that he's letting down his team, and Chris was like, team, sit with me.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, teamwork. What was that?
I don't know. I just felt really good about everything.
Okay. Felt necessary?
It did.
All right. I think we've covered the episode. Any other tear-jerking moments you want to talk about?
No, I mean, we didn't really talk that much about Bay and Emma and the tattoo, but you know what? Like,
That's
I don't
not
really
part
care.
of this episode. That was last episode.
Oh, yeah. I watched them both back to back. Sorry.
This episode was Sheree, Iris, and Chris. Had nothing to do with the Kennish Vasquez family.
Okay, listen, I'm killing it, okay?
You're doing great.
I got my life together.
You're doing great. Final thoughts before predictions?
Well, Florence stayed up till 2:45 a.m. in Germany to watch, so...
Girl, go to bed.
Thank
wait,
you.
German. Ich habe blaue Augen. That means I have blue eyes. I don't. That's all I know.
Are you serious? You know a line that doesn't even apply to you?
Yep.
The studio audience.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
It's my gift to you for staying up so late. We'll wrap this up so you can go to bed. Let's head into predictions.
Yeah.
I hope that you said it wrong. I hope that it comes back that you said it wrong.
And now,
Well,
That
no,
you said something else. I hope that it comes back that you
no,
said
all I
something
know to
else.
say is I have blue eyes. Ich habe blaue Augen. Anyway, next week, according to the promo, Mingo takes something too far and ends up in the hospital. John and Catherine, one of them and or both of them, are keeping secrets. Some kid, he could end up dead in the tattoo parlor. I was like, who is this kid and who cares? And some girl says to Daphne, I know who you are. And then Daphne says to her, oh my God. It was the worst promo.
It really was, and I didn't feel like anything connected to what has currently been going on.
I think this whole storyline is wrapped up and done.
I don't like that. 1.
I agree.
2, I'm predicting outside of the promo.
Great.
Because I don't understand what any of the things in the promo are.
I have a thought, but go on.
Okay, I may have like some thoughts, so I'm gonna get to that, but I'm gonna like focus on my main ones.
Girls gotta go sleep.
Okay. Oh yeah, I thought you. Never mind.
Not Becca.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. So I think that Chris, yes, he's gonna have issues with his arm, but I do think he is actually going to get attention from media and scouts for sitting out the game.
Okay.
I actually think it will actually bring him more recognition and more scouts interested, and that's when he's gonna have to admit that something's wrong with his arm.
Ah, love it.
Thanks. And him and Sheree are gonna make out.
Here's my issue with that. I like him and Sheree. I love that he calls her legs, as offensive as that is.
I agree with you.
It's like so derogatory. But
Yep.
like, girl, she is not a part. She is a body. Okay. She's a person. So I love that. I don't like, again, I said this when Mary Beth and Tank got together. I don't like the idea of shows forcing people together with their own kind. I think that's really freaking offensive. I almost swore there.
You did, but I would have loved it in that moment.
I think it's really ridiculous that you put plus size people together. You put black people together. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I dig that.
Especially
You
a
speak
show
out.
that goes, hey, we're going to cover all of these really controversial issues.
And then
but
not
we're
that
also,
one.
yeah, but we're also going to force people together based on the way they look.
and play into the issues, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a true statement, but I still think it's going to happen.
Yes, predictions from the chat.
Amanda says that she thinks Chris will sue the university for his injury, which is preventing him from playing baseball.
Absolutely. I think that's where that story is going to go. I like your idea that he gets the attention for it. I think he's going to have to reveal he can't play anymore because of his arm. He has a lawsuit, and therefore he solves the problem of the fact that he needed this to pay for his family.
Oh.
Yeah. Because this university is like begging for lawsuits.
They are.
Right? Like Catherine has a sexual harassment suit.
Yeah.
The entire BSU has a lawsuit.
Yep.
Iris has a lawsuit. You guys need good lawyers.
Yeah.
And I'm sure John has a few.
Gabriel thinks that Mingo will admit he's not dating anyone.
That's true. There was the kiss in the promo. I absolutely think that will happen. Mingo
Agreed.
is not dating anyone. He's a liar. I believe the reason he's in the hospital and the taking something too far is, if we remember, when we first met him, he put the like smoke bomb or the stink bomb in the bathroom, and the students couldn't use the bathroom on their floor. Remember, that was how we met him. I think he's a big prankster and he likes doing stupid things.
Okay.
And I think he's going to do a stupid prank and end up in the hospital. I may have also just recently rewatched all of Gilmore Girls, and I'm stealing a story from Logan. So that could be what just happened in my head.
I know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But
Spoiler alert for the end of Gilmore Girls.
as far as Mingo goes, though, I still want it to go back to him and the Lil Wayne stuff. Like, he has not been a part of this since then, and it all stemmed from him.
Didn't do anything wrong.
Right, but I still want it to go back and have that, like, worked, you know what I mean? That conversation worked out.
All right.
Because we never solved that conversation or got to a
Yeah.
agreement on it.
Yes.
Wawa Girl says, where has Mingo been through all of this?
I have
hiding.
I have another prediction that I want to get to before you potentially predict the exact same thing, and then you say that you came up with that
Okay.
prediction. Okay?
But also, before, I want to just answer this, where has Mingo been? Hiding. Because this whole thing started with
Because
him.
of him.
Yeah, so he's hiding. That's where he is. Hiding with his not girlfriend.
Correct.
Go on. Predict my brilliant idea.
Okay. So I think that the girl that Daphne, is this anything thus far that you were going to predict on?
No.
Oh, okay,
The
great,
girl
great,
that does I Know Who You Are?
Yes.
Go.
This is really far-fetched.
Oh, wait, is she Mingo's girlfriend?
No, because Daphne's response was tearful. Was a shocking tearful.
Yeah, because the kiss. Oh,
No.
I'm interrupting
No.
you. Here's my prediction. Daphne's going to kiss Mingo. He's going to end up in the hospital. Daphne's going to be there.
No.
The girl's going to be like, I know who you are. You're the girl who's
No.
been sleeping with my boyfriend. And then
No.
Daphne feels guilty and says, oh my God.
You
Boom.
won't like my prediction.
But called it.
I think that it's possible.
Yes.
that she could be like not related.
Yeah, I thought about that.
But related, or it could even be Angelo's daughter that they never knew about.
I did think about that, but
You
Angelo
thought about
already
it?
had a daughter that
Yeah,
we didn't
I know, but
about.
but then if he had one we didn't know about,
He
there's
could
a
have more than
chance
one.
that there's a few out there.
That's fair. I did consider it because it does feel like she's trying to say I'm your sister.
Exactly.
Maybe Regina had a daughter that Daphne didn't know
No.
about. She seems a little older, maybe. Maybe she's a cousin. I don't know.
I don't know,
Girl, I
but
don't
I'm
know.
thinking she's related.
Okay, thoughts?
Ryan has a really good prediction about Travis.
Okay, what is it?
He says, I predict that Travis will make a stupid mistake costing him his relationship with Bae, leading her back to Emmett.
Yeah, likely.
I mean, it's gonna happen at some point.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
Yep.
Emmett.
Anything else? Yes.
No.
Okay.
Moment.
There's also some kid who could end up dead at the tattoo parlor.
Don't take us out, Marissa.
They're forcing us out, guys. I don't know who this
Is it
kid is.
Emmett?
I don't know who this. No, it was some kid and his dad's yelling at Bae. He could end up dead. I don't know what it's about or what it has anything to do with.
Who knows? She probably just didn't clean up right or something.
Yeah. That's funny.
I don't know.
Oh, unsanitary needles.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a thing. Tattoo parlor. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you're in Germany, go to bed. But first, why don't we tell you who we are and where you can find us so that then you can go to bed thinking of us. Becca B Talks TV on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I'm posting, but no one can see it.
Nope, it's great. I love that she poses, but you can't see it.
No one
I forget
no
that.
one can see.
Hannah.
You all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hot Shot Dude, and you can find me on Tuesdays for the Foster's After Show. I was kicking my leg while I said that.
Please stop winking at
I
everything.
don't know. Go.
Okay. I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. I also do the Law & Order SVU After Show, which will be back March 22nd-ish. The Grimm After Show for the final season on Sundays. Legion tonight, late at night, although it might be morning in Germany.
I need to watch that.
What other shows do I do? Gay Weekly Roundtable. And super duper important this weekend, if you are in Vegas or you can go, there's a convention. It's called Klexicon. I will be there. That's right. Vegas this weekend. Come and say hello.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be in Vegas this weekend.
Awesome. Come say hello to us. We will give you a hug. Becca's not coming. Bye.
Oh, bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.